Aloha! Can you say aloha? That's how you say hello in Hawaii. Welcome to Patrika's Little Star Cafe. Facts that are fast, fun, and keep you happy. Today is Friday, November 2nd, 2018. And here are today's matters for chatter. Number 1. Anyone dressed up as a princess for Halloween? Well, it's some hard work, right? Spain's next monarch-to-be, Princess Leonor, has just celebrated her 13th birthday, and she gave her first speech at the birthday party of Spain's constitution, turning 40 years old. Puzzled how such a country, which colonized a new land called America long ago, has a constitution which only turned 40 now? The constitution means that it became a democracy, which means elected officials and people voting. Prior to that, Spain had a history of civil wars and a monarchy, where kings and dictators ruled. Currently, since this constitution was passed in 1978, it's a parliamentary monarchy, where officials are elected to parliament and the monarchy, or the kings and queens, carry on with royal duties. Number 2. Louis Cha, the most famous Chinese writer in modern times, passed away at the age of 94. He was better known as Jin Yong and even sold more books than J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series. Unbelievable. He wrote about martial arts and action, where kung fu masters and characters flying and fighting on the water are normal. Sounds cool, but most importantly, he was able to weave these stories into a historical background so people could learn about their culture as well as fantasy. Number 3. Hawaii's Mauna Kea was to house the world's largest single telescope, called the 30-meter telescope. But work has stopped on it since 2015, when protests by the local people started. They claimed that the mountain was sacred to them and interfered with their cultural practices. It already has 13 telescopes there, and this huge one will just add to the disturbance and further pollution. But now the Hawaiian Supreme Court has allowed for work on the 30-meter telescope to continue. A relief for science, but a loss for local culture. Mauna Kea has an ideal location for such an observatory. And now for today's mega matter. A very popular home goods company has just been caught copying designs from a smaller designer in Australia. Although the company now apologized to the designer, claiming it had no idea how this happened, it's a serious issue. Apparently, it copied earlier too, but just let it slide. That's why it's important to speak out against those too powerful and taking advantage of it. In this situation of copying, it's called copyright because it has to do with design. If we were to write an essay for school and copy parts of something someone else wrote, it's called plagiarism. We can always be inspired, but we need to have our own thoughts. And when we need to quote or refer to someone else's work, we need to give credit. Great authors and designers are considered great either because they create something new or because they're inspired and revive an old art form that was not highlighted. India, for instance, has a huge heritage of art, and it's wonderful for artisans to keep up these artistic traditions, and also great of designers to promote them, whether it be Banarsi saris, Kantha work, Meenakari or enamel jewelry, Madhubani paintings, etc. We need more designers around the world to create or promote though, not to copy. Today's word of the day is prior. That's fancy for before something. And finally, for today's quote of the day, instead of worrying about what you cannot control, shift your energy to what you can create. That's a quote by Roy T. Bennett. Thank you for listening, and do send us your questions and comments via WhatsApp, or you can email us at diptyanti@gmail.com. Take care. Lots of love, Dipti Auntie. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Do you know how loved you are?